What's up, finance virtuosos? It's me again, your favorite money-saving, investment-savvy friend. Today, we're going to dive deep into a topic that everyone seems to have an opinion on: real estate investment. A lot of people think buying a house is the key to building wealth, but the truth is, it's not always the best financial decision. In fact, I'm going to show you why the American dream of homeownership isn't all it's cracked up to be. This is the Finance Virtuoso channel. If you're new here, hit subscribe and the notification bell for the best money tips and tricks. Now, before we get started, I want to make it clear that I'm not saying you should never buy a house or invest in real estate. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I am saying is that you need to approach it very carefully and with your eyes wide open. Don't just blindly follow the herd and buy a house because that's what everyone else is doing. See, the thing is, the American dream of homeownership has been drilled into our heads for decades through clever marketing by groups like the National Association of Realtors. They want to convince you that buying a house is the be-all and end-all, the ultimate measure of success. But when you really look at the numbers, that's often not the case at all. Let's consider a quick example. A few years back, John was renting a really nice place. He noticed an identical unit right next door that was for sale. And he did the math: it would have cost him over 2 times more per month to own that place compared to what he was paying in rent. 2 times more. And that's not even factoring in all the other costs of homeownership like maintenance, repairs, property taxes, and so on. So instead of buying, he just took the extra $3,600 he would have been spending every month and invested it in the stock market. He ended up making way more money doing that than he ever would have if he had bought the place. No Home Depot trips, no dealing with leaky faucets, just pure, hassle-free investing. But real estate is a great investment. Property values always go up. Well, I'm here to tell you that's a myth. In fact, the data shows that over the long term, real estate only returns around 6% per year on average. That's not terrible, but it's certainly not the get-rich-quick scheme that a lot of people make it out to be. And let's talk about this idea of leveraging your money through a mortgage. Sure, it can work in your favor if property values go up. But it also works against you if they go down. If you put 20% down on a house and the value drops by 10%, you've effectively lost half your equity. That's some risky stuff right there. Another big myth is the whole tax deduction thing. Yes, you can deduct your mortgage interest, but let's be real, most people have no idea how that actually works or what they're even saving. And besides, those deductions were cut back significantly in 2018 anyway. So I wouldn't count on that as a major benefit of homeownership. I get that the idea of owning your own little piece of the American dream is super appealing. But you can't just let your emotions and the social pressure cloud your judgment. You've got to run the numbers, my friends. And I mean really run them, factor in all those phantom costs that most people forget about. That's why I always tell people, treat your house as a purchase, not an investment. Because the reality is, real estate is a pretty poor investment vehicle for the average person. There's just too much risk, too many hidden costs, and not enough upside compared to something like the stock market. Now, I'm not saying you should never buy a house. If the numbers work out and it makes sense for your situation, then by all means go for it. But don't do it just because that's what society tells you to do. Be smart, be strategic, and above all, be willing to walk away if the numbers don't add up. And if you do decide to take the plunge, make sure you've got the answers to these 5 key questions. 1. Will you live in the house for at least 10 years? This is important because it allows you to spread out all those upfront costs and transaction fees over a longer period of time. 2. Will your total monthly housing costs be less than 28% of your gross income? Anything above that and you're starting to put yourself at serious financial risk. 3. Have you saved up at least 20% for a down payment? This shows you have the discipline to save consistently, which is crucial for a homeowner. 4. Are you okay if the value of your house goes down? Because it will. Houses don't always go up in value, no matter what the real estate agents tell you. 5. Are you genuinely excited about buying the house, or are you just feeling pressured by society? If you can answer yes to all of those questions, then hey, go for it. But if even one of them is a no, then you might want to rethink things. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking about real estate investing as a way to build wealth, buy a property, rent it out, collect that sweet passive income. And I get it, that can definitely work. But again, you've got to be really careful and know your numbers inside and out. See, the thing is, most landlords have no idea what their true costs are. They forget about things like repairs, vacancies, property management fees, and all the other headaches that come with being a landlord. And then when those issues inevitably pop up, they find themselves in serious financial trouble. In fact, I'd say that over 50% of the people who reach out to financial coaches for financial help are in that boat. Their housing costs, whether it's their own home or an investment property, are just crushing them. And that's a shame, because real estate can be a great investment, but only if you approach it the right way. So if you're thinking about getting into real estate investing, my advice is the same as it is for buying a house: run the numbers, be brutally honest with yourself, and don't let emotions or social pressure cloud your judgment. Treat it like the business that it is, not some get-rich-quick scheme. And if the numbers don't add up, don't be afraid to walk away. There are plenty of other ways to build wealth that don't involve the hassle and risk of real estate. Index funds, for example, you can't beat the simplicity and the long-term returns. At the end of the day, my goal here isn't to scare you away from real estate altogether. It's to empower you to make smart, informed decisions. Don't just blindly follow the herd. Take the time to really understand the pros and cons, crunch the numbers, and figure out what's right for you and your unique financial situation. Because when it comes to building wealth and living your best life, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. It's all about finding what works for you. And if that means renting for the rest of your life and investing the difference, then so be it. There's no shame in that at all. Alright, I think that about covers it. As always, let me know if you have any other questions down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We've got a ton of other personal finance videos coming your way. Until next time, stay wealthy, my friends.